Hello, and our next CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity is going to Uplands, Fulwood Row near Preston, PR2 5RU. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. The borrower on this project is Providence Gate Developments Limited, company registration number 123000534. They incorporated in November 2019, and this special purpose vehicle has three directors: Anthony Hayton, Ishmael Badour, and Charles Openshaw, or Charlie as we call him. I'm delighted to say that Charlie's with us today. Tell us a little bit more about you and your fellow directors, Charlie.
We are three equal partners and shareholders within this the Providence Gate development. The project itself consists of 6 houses. The three of us come from a mixed background, but all construction backed. Ishmael comes from a finance background and fundraising background within the construction and development industry. Anthony is from a accounting and also construction manufacturing background, and myself is I come from a 25 years of construction delivery, so actual putting the bricks and mortar together, getting it on site and getting it completed.
Now, this project is a development loan of £4.2 million. That's towards the construction of those 6 detached houses. This is phase 2 of a planned 7 raises, and this phase 2 is for £315,000. The loan's for a total term of 18 months, so this phase is expected to be about 17 months. It's paying lenders 7.7% per annum equivalent interest on the investments. Tell us a little bit more about that local town of Preston.
Yeah, well, Preston's a very, very old town, steeped in history, and more so in recent years. It's just been made one of the Jubilee cities from the Queen's Jubilee, and since then, over the last few years, has been growing and expanding and has become almost one of the largest satellite towns and cities of places like Liverpool and Manchester. It's fantastically positioned. It's just off the M6. This site our site is just to the northeast of the city centre in a semi-rural area. The site neighbours and backs onto a nature reserve and sort of public outdoor space area. Fulwood itself is one of the more desirable areas of Preston. It has a great number of highly accredited, excellent performing schools, both primary and secondary. And this particular plot, where it's positioned, is just down at the bottom of a small cul-de-sac area, which is, as I said, next to the nature reserve area, but is also very close to one of the leading primary schools.
Planning permission was granted by Preston City Council. Their planning references are 06/2019/1397. That was granted back in May 2020, with the permission granted for those 6 dwellings and the associated engineering works. Development is about 23,595 square feet, and the individual units range from 3,417 square feet up to 6,482 square feet. The borrower bought the property with a CrowdProperty bridging loan, having invested funds in obtaining the full planning consent whilst under the option to buy. They've subsequently improved the scheme whilst on the bridge by increasing the floor area. The loan is to fund the construction costs. It will be first charge secured, and the exit strategy is to sell the properties on completion of the works. Here's our location plan. So we're up in the northwest here, very close to Preston and the M6 motorway. On the right hand side, you can see Fulwood, the area of Preston that we're talking about here. and it's located on Fulwood Row in Fulwood. It's about 3 miles northeast of Preston city centre, and it's a very popular residential suburb. Preston itself, as Charlie was saying to us earlier, got that city status in 2002, becoming England's 50th city in the 50th year of Queen Elizabeth's reign. So there's images then of the proposed development. How did you come across this project, Charlie?
We found the site off market, and after several months of negotiation with the landowners, we agreed a position on the site, and then went into the detailed design that you've got. So we then drove this through several stages of planning, several stages of redesign, and got to the final position, as you see there on the screen, that current site plan with the 6 plots.
And there's 2 distinct sides to this particular development, isn't there? On the sort of slither of land that comes out to the right at the bottom of our screen there, and a few house designs as well. Tell us about these.
Well, the 2 house site types you see there, house type 1, which is on the screen at the moment, relate to plots 3, 4, and 5 in the top left-hand side of the if you like, the area of the site. They're quite large 6-bedroom detached properties, you see, all with their own gardens. To the south of what borders the south in its entirety, to the south of plots 1, 2, 6, and 3, that red line south border, is the large nature reserve. So you've got uninterrupted views over a nature reserve area. And plots 5 and 6, likewise, they look out over clear fields and a nature reserve as well. So it's a beautiful spot, which is, I say, semi-rural, very quiet. The site, which we have created a little mini gated community. So when you come in off the Uplands, which is a very nice, quiet residential road, you'll come into your own little private estate.
And the first properties that you go past, I think, are those there, aren't they?
Yes, house type 2 on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see they're the first 2 properties. There are actually 3-story properties at the rear and 2-story properties at the front, and take advantage of the natural topography, which has allowed us to do some fantastic architectural features and some subterranean areas and garden rooms at the back of the houses as well.
Work is well underway. Here's some photos of how it looked at the very start of the project, and we can see the entrance. That's the roadway, I think, going into the site, isn't it? What can we see on the right-hand side?
On the right-hand side, you're going to begin to see some of the area, some of the road line being cleared, some of the spoil, because as you can see on the photo on the left, that's the main entranceway. What we've had to do is dig down to create the level for the roads, and then obviously bring the drainage and all the various intermediate layers for the roadway coming in. In that picture on the right hand side, you can also see some of the plots staked out and fenced out with some of the orange tape fence, where work's already starting in those areas as well.
And here's some more photos where you're digging down, presumably, the foundations.
The photo on the left, they are doing foundation work. The photo on the right is what I was saying about digging down to create the road level. There's a whole series of underlying levels of crush and fill that has to go into to create the road, and that's what you can see on the image on the right hand side.
Now, work, of course, is underway. How do you feel progress is going?
At the moment, we're moving on a fantastic rate of knots. We've not experienced difficulties with materials or labour. We've been very proactive in managing to secure all that early on at the beginning of the project, so we've de-risked the scheme. As you can see on the photos on the slide at the moment, plots 3, 4, and 5 are all had their foundations laid. The engineering block and trench block is coming through, and we're beginning to hardcore up around the site. As you can see in the top images, and a whole lot of hardcore that's been put in there to be level through. Drainage is in, the road access is in, and we are beginning on plots 6 at the moment to bring the trench block through. There's more photos, as you can see, at the different stages of the construction as it currently sits. The steel work and the block and beam, concrete beam floors are about to be laid, and progress at the moment is well ahead of program. We're currently running about 2 weeks ahead of our own program at the moment.
And you can get a good sense of the size of the properties there.
Yes, I mean, that's the advantage now of having the foundation in is that when prospective buyers, and we have got a few already lined up who have visited site and are now at a position ready to commit. Now they've seen the site as you can see it, you can stand in the sites and get a real feel of the quantum and the size of these units. For instance, the I think plots 3, 4, and 5. The building houses in the houses in those areas are circa 3,500 square foot, so they are very large, sizable family executive homes.
And who are you targeting these properties at?
The market that it sits are, I suppose, the executive family, the family that are in a position to, they're wanting to move as their fortunes are improving, but also want to move for the space and that sort of extra little level of exclusivity that comes with being able to live in a secure and gated community. Have the benefit of both a semi-rural location, but also excellent transport links to the main motorways and to the city of Preston for things like shopping and general entertainment, and obviously the key one being work as well.
I've got a case study as well that it'd be good if you could talk us through, please, Charlie. This is Harper Road in Coventry. What did you do here?
Yes, this is a project we did some time ago. Basically, on this particular scheme, we were giving a steel frame, and then to the steel frame, we then covered and encapsulated the entire building in what's called the envelope. So everything you can see on those CGI images, the roofs, the walls, the windows, everything that keeps the wind and weather out is we handed over and completed. Along with that, on the back of that, we then picked up internal fit out works, internal and some internal petitioning and fire protection. This is a general construction project that we did as a construction company on behalf of a third party.
And it makes a great case study as well. Returning back to this one at Uplands, this is the second phase of a 7-phase raise facility of £4.2 million in total. This raise is for £315,000. Interest is rolled and paid at the exit. RICS verified the market value pre-start to be £2,035,000. Initial gross day one drawdown was £1 million. Therefore, the initial loan to value was 49.1%. Loan to value at exit, excluding interest, is 57.8%, and including the interest, 64.2%. This particular phase is expected to last about 17 months, and the exit strategy is to sell the completed properties. Investors are going to be receiving interest at the equivalent rate of 7.7% per annum. It is already first charge secured at Land Registry for the benefit of the investors. So your next steps are to make sure that you understand the loan, and please carry out your own due diligence, then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds your own online e-wallet. You'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is phase 2, where we're looking for £315,000, please, for about 17 months for the project at Uplands, Fulwood Row, Preston, PR2 5RU. Thank you for watching this CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. We look forward to you joining us again soon for more opportunities back here at CrowdProperty.com.